Hey guys, it's Tobin. Thanks for checking out the channel. I love you guys. Subscribe there, hit the button thingy. Unless you already have, then you're doing great. If you wouldn't mind, we're also streaming live. The Tobin and Leroy show is now on WQAM, live every single day from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. You don't have to catch us just live. The archive goes up there. All for 4 hours of the show, the 2 hours and 40. Don't be technical about it. Just go subscribe over to WQAM. You guys can go watch us there as well. Was boots on the ground last night for the Miami Heat's win over the Oklahoma City Thunder. This was the Thunder's first national TV game in like 3 years. So good for them. Miami wins 112 to 111. Basically on the back of free throws. It was a wild night. I'm not going to say it was the best basketball game I've ever seen, although I did see a lot of Heat fans seemingly dig it on social media. I did find it to be a very, very long game. And I was like feeling this off the bat because, you know, I'm like typing stuff along. I'm not like writing a story or nothing like that. I'm no wordsmith, but it's just like little notes here and there. I'm just like, man, like right in the middle of the second, and I think people probably, I'm guessing people felt this, or maybe they were in and out, but I'm just like, man, immediately, and on both sides, I was there are so many free throws that are happening right now. And I think it was 37 in the first half between both teams. It was crazy. But you probably felt like you were going to be in for a weird night. This was a night with the Heat being without 4 of their starters. No Kyle, no Tyler, no Bam, no Caleb Martin. So Jimmy's out there, and he's starting with Gabe Vincent, Orlando Robinson, Max Strus, and Haywood Highsmith. So it was going to be one of those nights. Of course, we know that they came off the heartbreaker to Brooklyn, where Jimmy doesn't get the call at the end, which, by the way, last 2-minute report, complete crap. And I don't know what was going on. I don't know if what happened in Brooklyn, I don't know if the Heat did one of those things, because Spo did mention this after the game against Brooklyn, where he was like, you know, I felt like Jimmy could have gotten like 6 or 8 more free throws. And people will say this from time to time, where like teams will send stuff to like league officiating offices. I wonder almost if there was like a cut up of Jimmy Butler non-calls that teams were getting away with, because he was getting everything. And I mean, like, I'm not saying that he wasn't fouled. I'm just saying, like, if Jimmy Butler got touched and like on a typical night, maybe it goes a couple of those because he's so physical, he's imposing. That was not the case this night. Everything was getting called for him, and it turned out to be a historic night. The Miami Heat set an NBA record for most free throws without a miss, 40 out of 40, and they needed literally every single one of them, and it was mostly on the back of Jimmy Buckets. He went 23 for 23 from the free throw line. It was a sight to see. You did get to a point where, like, at the end of it, he was 14 for 14 at the end of the first half. You're like, all right, that's pretty cool. You know, Jimmy's kind of rolling. That's good for him. The Heat, they got a nice lead. Shouldn't go too well, and then of course we know, third quarter strikes and gets it its way, but. Let's get into, before we get to the end of the game, the probably the juiciest part of the game. So, second quarter, the Heat give up a couple of easy baskets. You know, they grow out to this lead. They're up by like 8, 9, something like that. And the Heat are in zone, and the Thunder just get 2 easy buckets, back-to-back possessions. And the Heat are up like 37-32. Spo calls timeout. So they're doing the timeout, and they are getting ready to go back into action. And Dewayne Dedmon and Spo are like going, pretty close face to face. And you can tell that it's getting pretty animated, that it's getting to a point where you're like, whoa, Dewayne Dedmon does not look happy. Erik Spoelstra does not look happy. This does not look good. And then Dewayne, I think, is told first to sit down because it looks like he's about to go. He like walks, so like Spo and him are like this, and then like Spo's ready to move on, and like Dewayne Dedmon looks like he's about to walk back to the bench. He's still jawing. Looks like Caron Butler gets into it with him as well. I'm guessing that they told him, hit the bricks, go cool off. And as he is about to, as he does that, this behemoth of a man, he takes his arm and just flings something into the air, and you just see onto the court a plastic apparatus, a massage gun falls onto the court, and Dewayne Dedmon goes back to the locker room, and they say, an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Mike Biamonte gets on the an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty has been called on the Heat's Dewayne Dedmon. He has been ejected. And everybody's just kind of confused, especially if you were at the game or on TNT. You're like, what? Because he wasn't kicked out by the officials to the locker room. The team was telling him, or he was going back to the locker room. He flings this gun off this massage piece of equipment onto the court. Massage gun isn't heavy, but a massage gun isn't nothing. It's not nothing as far as like weight is concerned. And so they eject him for flinging the massage gun. Bam Adebayo, who was dressed fantastically in his slacks and his dapper turtleneck, he was out, goes back after Dewayne Dedmon, and that was that. And everybody's like, whoa, what's going on here with Dewayne Dedmon? That was definitely a kind of a pick-me-up to the night. So I guess shout out to Dewayne Dedmon for that. But yeah, people were wondering, like, hey, is this it for Dewayne Dedmon? Is that like a, you know, your mind goes racing with all that. Like, is this it for Dewayne Dedmon? Because it's one thing for Jimmy Butler to get into that, to get into a heated verbal confrontation there with Erik Spoelstra. It's another for him to be Dewayne Dedmon, who's, you know, eligible to be traded in 4 days. So, you know, you kind of wonder with that, like, all right, I don't know why Dewayne Dedmon was pissed. I'm guessing that they weren't happy with his effort there. He has lost his starting job to an undrafted rookie who's on a 2-way contract. So he's essentially lost his job. His contract next year isn't even guaranteed. And Dewayne Dedmon is a guy who is like probably very frustrated from this season. Very frustrated. And things boiled over there. But the one thing that I got to say with Dewayne is, look, you're down to like no players. And the one thing that the Heat have to pride themselves on is like, it's always, you know, stay ready so you don't got to get ready. And with Dewayne, yeah, he's been in the league for a long time, but he was out of the league. And, you know, he finds himself in this role last year for the Heat. He does a good job as being the backup big. This year, he's dealing with a lot physically, which hasn't helped. And his metrics are a disaster. Like, anytime that he put him on the court, their lead plummets. In a team that can't hold leads and is always in close games, anytime they have put Dewayne Dedmon into the games this year, it is. I'm not saying it's all his fault. It's just the numbers are the numbers. And you know, Spo to a degree is always going to look at that and say, like, this is what it is. So here's a night where he basically has no choice but to play Dewayne Dedmon. And Dewayne Dedmon decides 5 minutes, you get mad at me because a couple baskets get by. I'm not taking it. And he's out of the game and flings a massage gun. And so, like, Erik Spoelstra, you're like wondering, like, how is he going to handle this? Typical Spo. Like, he tries to laugh it off and be like, haha, typical Tuesday night. But he did say, to the point of flinging the massage gun, that was out of bounds from Dewayne Dedmon.
All we kind of saw was Dewayne kind of walk off and throw something onto the court. What led to that sequence of events?
It's the Miami Heat. We're all a bunch of gnarly personalities, so, that part was unfortunate. Everything before that, that's the Miami Heat. That part was unacceptable.
Or I guess technically you're flinging the massage gun inbounds in this case. So he's gone. And so the Heat have to go into this situation where like Orlando Robinson is their only center because UD was dressed, but I don't think he was playing. He was dealing with something coming in. No Jovic, no Bam, no Omer Yurtseven, no Dedmon. He don't have any bigs. And so they get to the point where they're closing 5. Is mother bleeping Jamal Cain, the Cain train. Woo! Woo! You get to this fourth quarter. Orlando Robinson picks up his 5th foul. Josh Giddey, he starts getting off. He gets a couple of buckets in a row. Then Trey Mann hits like 2 6 step-back jumpers. And you're like, all right, 6-0 run here. Not great. Not great. He can't score in the first 3 minutes. Things are starting to turn in the wrong direction right now. And if it's not Jimmy free throws, then you don't have a whole lot going on. But Victor Oladipo, he wakes up. Arise, Victor Oladipo. And he starts getting it going. And now, Victor Oladipo, this work of art that he does with the steals, it's so tremendous. He had this thing where there was a sequence where he turns it over, but then he steals it right back. And he's on the run. Looks like he's about to do some cool dunk, like really like aerodynamic dunk. It looked like it was going to be awesome. But clear path foul. Victor Oladipo, he gets the 2 free throws. Oh, it makes it 96-93. Then Gabe Vincent hits the 3 ball. Then and the foul gets it to 97-96. Miami gets the lead back. And then Jimmy Butler, he gets a dunk on an inbound pass. And then Jamal Cain gives a little bit of breathing room where it's like he gets the shot in the corner, hits it, splash, and turns immediately to the Thunder bench. Because apparently, according to Jamal Cain, they were saying that dude can't shoot.
Corner 3?
Yeah, what you saw and decision to step into it.
Well, I can tell you what I heard. Like the whole bench behind me saying he can't shoot. So when I hit it, if y'all could see me turn around, they kind of looked at him. So I mean, I was ready. Like that's something I've been doing like since I've been here. We're just shooting corner 3 and trying to master the corner 3. So I was ready for that moment.
Good night for him. So the Heat are in the spot. Looks like they're on their way. But then Gabe Vincent, what a tough night. He turned it over a lot. Outside of that 4-point play, he was turning the ball over willy-nilly. It was a tough night for Gabe Vincent. But Jamal Cain, he ends up going to the free throw line late. Of course, hits them both. And then SGA, he battles back, gets a 3-pointer over Vic. They get the lead back. And then Jimmy, he bricks a 3-pointer. Josh Giddey gets a floater. They go up by 3, and then they get another bucket. Giddey follows up, gets another one, and so they go up 5. So in the closing sequence, Heat are down 2. Kenrich Williams takes a fade away. Max Strus is defending him, and they call a foul. But when people are like, "What?" It doesn't look like Max Strus fouls him, but behind him was Jamal Cain, and so he's in his landing zone. So they call foul Jamal Cain, and like Spo's freaking out, the fans are freaking out. Everybody's up because everybody thinks that the foul's on Max, and if you look at the review, you're going to be looking at if you're looking at Max Strus, doesn't look like he fouled him, but Jamal Cain is kind of like hiding there in his landing zone, and he definitely fouled him. Like there was definitely contact, but the fans are freaking out, and so like Spo calls a challenge, and he's going to lose this challenge. Like he's going to lose this challenge. Jamal Cain was not supposed to be there, but doesn't matter. Spo calls it, and the go to review. The call stands. Crowd goes nuts. They are pissed at what happens. And Kenrich Williams, steps to that line. Building is hostile, and the crowd is into it. They want this win. He misses both free throws. Both mother bleeping free throws. And then Wiggins gets the rebound, but then Vic steals it, gets it to Jimmy Butler. They tie it on up, of course. Jimmy gets the call and one, and puts the Heat up 112-111. little bit of a scramble, and they have to do a review for a jump ball at the end, but the Heat are able to get the victory and thankfully win 112-111 in a night where they set an NBA record and Dewayne Dedmon got kicked out of the game. So, whew, wild night. Wild night. Here's a little Jimmy Buckets after the game.
It was a NBA record for you guys going 40 for 40 from the line, first off.
Whenever they told me in my post-game interview, had no idea. And I didn't know that we went 40 for 40 or that we even shot 40 free throws. I'm more excited that we won this game by 1 point.
Can you kind of just take us through the emotions of the night? You're missing half a dozen guys. You're down 4 starters. Then
Dedmon threw something on the floor.
Yeah, that was like the 18th least important thing, as it turned out.
For sure.
Seemed a little big at the time. Then you guys are down 5 with a minute to go. I don't know. You didn't get the rebound on the free throw. Then you and Vic come away with the ball somehow. Just what can this night mean for this group?
First of all, Buddy hit Max with the okey doke on the rebound. He acted like he wasn't crashing, and got him on the spin back. But then, man, Vic got down the floor so fast and, man, rolled that bad baby into the post. I had no idea that he saw me. And, man, scored a bucket and made a free throw. And that's the game. And I'm glad that we got one on this home floor.
And Jamal Cain, big shout out to him. You know, that premium art, Miami Heat art of staying ready. This is him on what that ride's been like for him.
I think it's better just, just being ready for anything. Like, I know some days I'm probably not going to play. Some days I'm probably going to get called upon to play a lot. So I just try to keep my mind, level-minded.
Other particular guys on the team, because a lot of guys have gone through that same thing, and there are particular guys on the team that you've leaned on just to kind of go, what that whole process is like?
Definitely Caleb, definitely Max, Gabe as well. Like, they all are in my ear because it's tough for me, especially like being a competitor, and I want to be on the floor and try to help my teammates. But they right beside me, telling me what I need to hear in order to, keep a healthy mental in this process, because it's hard. As a competitor, you want to play. And I see areas on the court where I feel like I can be impactful, but, just got to wait my turn and just keep working.
So the Heat get this much-needed win. They're now back to 2 games over 500. 2 games against the Bucks to finish out the week. 1 on Thursday, 1 on Saturday afternoon. We'll see what happens, dude. This is, pretty crazy with all the injuries. It just seems like none of this stuff ever goes away. But even as Eric Spoelstra said, as he is to say before every game in a game like this, we have enough. They had enough. They got it done. Let's see if they can get it done again.